Gagasi FM. This is Elevate with myself, Khulekani. Yes, it's another Monday. It's another episode with Elevate on Gagasi FM with myself, Khulekani. This streams live on the Gagasi FM YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and yes, it even gets on air. So, namhlanje, it is Youth Month. We are hanging out with two people, one young and one very youthful. So I'm hanging out with uNompilo and uMAKHUMALO, THOBILE MAKHUMALO Mseleku. Sanibonani ninjani?
Hey, how are you? Siyaphila and stuff.
Kahle Nompilo, masigodwa ngiyombiza uNompilo.
Uyombiza ngoNompilo.
Soxabana.
Ngikho hebheka lo sisiphezwe.
Uphile Khulekani.
I'm good. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, hey. Yeah, but I've been attached. Like in touch, attached everywhere. Lapha, yeah. You anonymous. Because again,
I've actually heard her on one of our shows. And I was like, no way.
Yamazlo announce.
Le voice noma
ngathi. I don't think wagisa. I think wachela.
No, I heard you. Ngakuza, and I can recant the entire moment, but yeah, we're not there today. So we're hanging out with you guys. This is, I think, from the backdrop of your TV show. I've seen you guys having a lot of conversations with Mpilo about a lot of things in life. And I want to start here. It's a very sour point and a sore point, perhaps. A lot of people know that you don't have a biological child.
Correct.
You've been vocal about it. You've been speaking about it for many, many times. And I don't know when, but it got to the show where a lot of people got to see a side of you being a mother, and through this wonderful person next to me, uNompilo. MPILOENHLE.
Yes.
Did it achieve all that you wanted it to achieve? What's that relationship like for you?
Sure, Khulekani, I think, like you said, ukuthi omunye umuntu uzothi, this is a sensitive issue and everything, but for me, it's not as sensitive. I think from the point where I decided, ukuthi, let me take it out there, you know, and kube into nje eyaziwayo umphakathi nomhlaba. Ngicabanga ukuthi yashintsha izinto eziningi even kumina.
Yeah.
Because I got to a point where I was very okay with it, and instead of ukuthi ibe into ebhlungu kumina and my family, it ended up being into that is very helpful. So the fact that ngithola like comments from abanye abantu, reviews and everything, abantu abakhulumayo ukuthi kubasiza kangakanani ukuthi ngaphumela ngaphandle ngakhuluma ngesituation yami yavele yashintsha yonke into. So now it's no longer that painful as much as kuyiqiniso esigeke siliphika ukuthi wonke umuntu wesifazane mangabe ezalwa ekhula eshada unawo
expectancy,
like yes ukuthi ene mina ngizokhulisa umuzi kube 1 or 2 or 3, but it's no longer into engathi taboo like for us.
Yeah.
Instead sekuyinto ekuyinto nje yasekhaya, one of those things yabo kube ngathi ngenhlanhla yami ngithi umndeni wethu uwenzeke ngalendlela oyiyona. So it's like how nado kukhona, yes, you can also get this, yes, so you can also get unkosikazi ongazitholi izingane, and still that is educational to omunye umuntu, and it's helping a lot of people and iyangisiza kakhulu leyo. So Mpilo is not a replacement.
Yeah.
So she never got to ukuthi abe umuntu engazuthi ngoba naka ngithola izingane, okay, there is Mpilo. No, she's not that. Namanje mangingakutshela ngisho ukuthi it would be nice ukuthi ke ngila ngaqhamuka uThobile pregnant nengane le uzokukhulelwa uzokubeletha kuzoba nengane ekhaya noMpilo wabe excited kuzoba nosisi omncane onobhuti omncane. So ayenzi lutho ukuvala isikhala, but wonke umuntu onendawo yakhe, you understand. So she's in my heart njengengane yami, akavaleli ingane ilandelayo.
Yeah.
Or indawo yengane
Unendawo yakhe.
Yes.
Mpilo, I want to take it from you. When kwenzeka into kanje njobe uMAKHUMALO ukuthi umndeni wakaMseleku umndeni owakheke ngendlela ethile nomndeni omkhulu. Ngisho nomndeni omncane uyakhuluma. I can imagine omkhulu kangaka nosemehlweni abantu kangaka. Certain things ziyayikhulunywa ngabantu esibathandayo. How do you take it and respond to izinto nezinkulumo mhlasimbe coming to attack uMAKHUMALO, demeaning on her, mhlambe zehlisa ubuyena bekhuluma ngezinto akwaziyo nangakwazi ukuzenza?
I think it's very frustrating for me. I get very mad. When it pertains to into enoma young and I absorb it and I go to her and I explain with okay, this and this is happening and I don't like it, and she's always the person who advises me to not react emotionally and to think about izinto. And to her, I think there's so many things that she's heard to the point where as some affect so me as young affect her because obviously my mind is still developing and obviously abantu bazokhuluma nami because kuyena indlela ezingam affecting us some reach. So mina I'm the easiest source and it gets very very painful, but she blows it away and she makes me understand ukuthi emhlabeni abantu bazohlezi bekhuluma kokuqala. Okwesibili, it doesn't mean that kuyona yonke into eshiwo kumele manje njalo uhlezi udiniwe. Yeah, because it takes a lot out of you. She prioritizes her own mental sanity and her own personal space. So anything that will go against that, so it's something that I always try to absorb. Nami ngizama okay, ngizama ukuba njengayo, but I namba ngicika shema ngifuna ngasho.
Bayangicika shema.
Man, stress.
Talking about your mental stress and your mental health, you alluded to how uMakhumalo deals with hers. You're in school right now, usafunda, nayi TV show la, nansi nenye TV show, nansi fame, naba nabantu, uyahamba esikoleni. How do you handle all of that?
Oh my gosh, it is a lot. It gets very tricky. My mental health is still very fragile at the moment, considering that I'm still very much an adolescent. So if I feel that something is getting a lot, she's always opened the door since like the beginning of our relationship for me to be able to express izinto ezingangiphathi kahle and anginikeze i-support ne-advice. So ezinye izinto awukwazi ukuyibalekela like ukuthi recognize abantu. But because I get very anxious, I think I have social anxiety. So I get very anxious when a lot of people are recognizing me at the same time and are speaking about me. And it's something that she tries to understand and she tries to help me with. Uguti, you can't avoid it, but if it gets to a point where you can't handle it, here are some things that you can do. Yabo. So I really, really do communicate with her a lot if I feel like I'm struggling. She really, really helps me. Sometimes she prays for me. You know, there are just certain things that she does as a mother to make me feel like, okay, at least Angi Kongeto.
You're a very prayerful woman, and I say this from a personal experience with you as well over the years. Kunevesi elithi fundisana amadodakazi enu ukukhala noma ukulila phambi kaJehova. That's one thing that I think the Bible tells mothers to teach daughters. What are some of the things that you say, these are the things I've learned through life, and lezi zinto lezi I want to live with MPILOENHLE?
You know, Khulekani, one, like she's saying, one, you cannot control ukuthi umhlaba uthini ngawe, but decide ukubona kanjani. So I always try my level best ukuthi kube ukuthi we understand ukuthi sekwenzekile konke, but there is you unompilonhle ongaphakathi unompilonhle ongaphandle. So umpilonhle ongaphakathi ucontrol ukuthi umpilonhle ongaphandle kufanele aphile kanjani, enze kanjani. So if kuukuthi umpilonhle ongaphakathi akekho rich, kuzoba i-problem. Umpilonhle prays, umpilonhle sleeps with the Bible. So sometimes ngize hey, avune drama. Like aqamele eBhayibhelini, I'm being honest, she's here. Akuyona ihlazo. Alale neBhayibheli. Ngithi mina why? Yabo, nami understand. Athi I feel like weapon yami, I feel like shield. I feel like when izinto zingahambi kahle lizongivikela. So she prays once, makezolala kodwa ebusuku ubelieve ukuthi iBhayibheli lizomvikela, uyabo. So it's something oyiplanta unganakile ukuthi ngale nkathi ukhuluma izwi likhuluma apho lithatha from the Bible. So seliyaphila manje naye useyazi ukuthi noma
I can trust this.
Yes, I can trust this. This is my weapon because I can't give her a gun ngiselala nesibhamu, so that makwenzeka noma yini kube ukuthi ufeel ukuthi protected, you understand. So nami ezinye izinto angazi zenzeka kanjani, angazi ukuthi ngizitheklishe kanjani, but mase ngingasazi uyedwa umuntu engibuyela kuyena, ngibuyela kuNkulunkulu ngithi okay, I feel ukuthi manje angikwazi ukwenza ngokwami, so take over. Mase ngisho njalo Khulekani kuvele kubuya isibindi, kuvele kubuye ukuzethemba, kuvele kubuye yonke into. And my husband always says umuntu owenza ukukholwa uhlakaniphile kunayo yonke into ekhona, because ukukholwa kukutshela ukuthi into engekho possible possible, kukutshela ukuthi into ongeke uze usakwazi ukuyi-overcome uzo-overcome, kukutshela yonke into ocabanga ukuthi you just cannot, kukutshela ukuthi kuzokwenzeka. So kusho ukuthi wayehlakaniphile if kuwukuthi khona umuntu ohleli la khona othi Bible exist, Christianity exist, ukukholwa exist. Athi kulungile ngizokuthatha njengoba ukusho kodwa kusho ukuthi wehlakaniphile umuntu okwaqamba lento uthi wena yikho ngoba yenze sikwazi ukuphila noma kungasaphileki. So iliyo nto le engihlezi ngisho ukuthi anginayo mina isiliva negolide empilonhle, anginanyanga, anginasangoma. Even my parents ngize ngisho mangenza ama jokes ngithi ave besenzele phansi abazali bethu ingane zabantu ziphinde makubo ziye komabazo bahlanganisa izinto. Mina my mom will tell me ukuthi let's pray. Angisho ngoba ngiqamba amanga ngoba ngithi abantu bayabuka, but it's the truth. I will never go back to my mom angitshele enye into ungitshela ukuthi let's pray. Sometimes ngiphume nami ngisho ukuthi I'm defeated yazi umama akasazi ngisho umama mhlambe othize yabo because
ngihambe namanzi nami
into ethize ngizofika ngizandi, you understand. So now I don't have that, therefore ngoba nama nginikwa ngalokho nama nginakho engamnika wona except for ukuthi ngimnike lokho enganikwa kona. So mayededele kona angisho ukuthi kuzokwenza yonke into ibe magic, but ngiyazi ukuthi kwenzeni kumina kuthi mawukholwa ukuthi kunje, mawukholwa ukuthi kuzokwenzeka kuba njalo exactly.
Below, you spoke about social anxiety. How do we live in an age and a stage where abantu abasha, and more so angifuna ukuloke ngishona lena le abantu besifazane bephuza ngendlela eyisimanga. I read a post on social media bethi ebuza ukuthi babambeke kephi abasifazane bangakini, and the majority of the comments abantu bethu uphuzo oludakayo inkambi kaFaro ilokhu nalokhu, and a lot of people alluding to alcohol, and a lot of people umubabuza they go to that as an escape to handle the social pressures, the anxiety, the depression, the stress. How do you handle that as a young person? How do you escape from pressures of life?
There's I wouldn't say there would be a means to escape, especially with drugs. If you do drugs, inkinga uyibaleka for 2 hours uzovuka ngakusasa, it's still the same thing ikon. So my best remedy is I cry. I really do cry. Crying helps. It kind of feels like if I don't cry into iyambondelana ngaphakathi until I reach a stage where I can't do it anymore. So apart from crying, I do a solo session and then I call my mom, and then you know when you talk to your mother there's a sense of comfort that you get, and then you just start crying all over again. So that's what usually happens. So now I have 2 sessions of crying. After that
Man, actually the first one is practice.
Solo session. I cry because so that I don't get there and cry. But then you hear her and then she notices that you're not okay, and then you just cry again. Because now, why did you notice that I'm not fine? So I think it helps. I just genuinely believe in crying. Abantu abangakhali bang stress because where is it going? How are you releasing it?
Yeah.
So yeah, apart from crying, I speak to her. She sometimes takes izinto ezingihluphayo to my dad, and I was fortunate enough to be surrounded by very intelligent people who have honed my life. So both of her and my father are very, very intelligent to the point where even if ingqondo zabo ihlangana kuphuma isolution engizwa athi okay sure yabo. So once sifika kubaba ungitshela into engizokwazi na ukuthi ngizame ukuyiqoqa ukuthi okay his thing is very ukuthi ayikho into engadluli, this thing izodlula yabo. So yeah,
bandla ayindawo bandla yakhula
and engathi siyam more
stress kwena ngephandla why. So yeah, that's what I usually do. Cry, go to your mother, hamba uncele uzoba right.
Tell me about this. How do you now handle Nkosi yami izoqhamuka insizwa uyahambela lapha ecampusini athi awumadoda isibhuqabhuqa inyama emnandi athi nje nongana ubhasikidi uyangena emarket. Umjolo is a pandemic.
It is.
Does she have a say in your mjolo fontaine, Noma?
Not necessarily a say,
Comment?
but zikhona izinto azozisho. Obviously, she has never closed umnyango ukuthi ngikwazi ukuthi ngikhulume naye nganoma yini engihluphayo, even if it's boys akayena umuntu ozothi hawu so yatshela wena kusukela nini. So I think
I know ngaligoqa ibhande manje
no.
wasebenzisa
langasetshenziswa yimi futhi ubaba wakhe wethembisile ukuthi uzolisebenzisa so akufikanga even lapho
Kwangena
kwaze kwafika
akazi.
la kumele ngiyigoqe khona
Walibeka.
sikalibeka ngathi njengamanje ibhande ngelisaphinde lisebenze I think age yakhe iyavuma ukuthi enza ama mistakes and I'm here ukumsiza in case kufika la kunzima khona so ibhande ngeke silidinge sodinga ukukhuluma sihlale phansi.
And you know why I'm asking this is that a lot of people, they shy away from talking about umjolo.
True.
And they get together, all of us are teenagers, all of us know nothing about this, but all of us somehow are giving each other advice.
Yeah.
So how much impact does she have on that particular faculty of your life?
I was fortunate enough for her to open umnyango ukuthi sikhulume about anything from such a young age, and Nami, thank God ukuthi I was able to realize ukuthi actually I can use her to get some sort of advice yabo. Unfortunately, most of us as teenagers have a tendency to say ukuthi asimanga understand. Ngeke understand mase ngimtshela ukuthi khona umfana ungistressayo. Yabo. And yabo njengoba ngisho ukuthi ngiyabonga ukuthi ngakwazi ukunotice it, because I think if I had listened to, like, I've had some pretty dodgy friends, and if I had listened to them, I wouldn't even be here. I would probably be somewhere sleeping in someone's bed, and I probably wouldn't be here. So thank God. No, just somewhere ngikipitila ngazona uthi ngiyepha lento uthi umuntu aduke. Mhlambe for sure ngaduka by now if I had listened to my friends. Hello. Uyazi le nto sevasithi. Yay. What's
the worst piece of advice you've gotten from a friend?
Oh my gosh. I think the worst piece of advice I've gotten from my friends was to, if we agree to go out somewhere, is to just chill with random guys and go wherever with them. Uhlala nabantu bathi hayi asambeni siye mhlambe noma ike phakathi inkoka because yonke ifika eqala mhlambe sisukeni manje sekonke ngene emotweni sinehamba sukeni la hayi asiphindele ezathi asibazi. So it's like the worst advice I've, because people get kidnapped and people die,
And it's dangerous.
and it's very, very dangerous, especially in uzohamba ebusuku. So that was probably the worst advice that I've ever gotten. Ukuthi nje sambeni asibazi. No, it's fine, let's get in the car. Ngeke basenze lutho. Oh, it's fine yabo. So yeah, if I had listened to them I probably wouldn't be here. So I do talk to her about things. I don't tell her if I'm getting into something. I wait. Because ukutshela umuntu umtshela umelude to the fact that ikhamba kahle uzacathi hawu uhamba kahle. No. Uzophela. So I tell her ukuthi no, I was into something and it ended. Oh, what happened? Ngichaze. I shall 2 cents after that. Sihleke understand and we move on.
I never got to cry.
I've never cried with her over a guy. Yeah, zibe khona inyembezi mhlawumbe eziwu2, but you have to mercy imungu guys South Africa. Mami bambe ayibo ngaba njani lokukhala umfana South Africa. No, mara bayahlupha beshoda benjalo, so ungakhali, just smile. Tshela umzali. Right.
MAKHUMALO, what would you say to a person, a mother specifically, who doesn't have this kind of relationship nomntwana wakhe? Perhaps a relationship yabo is through an intermediary, noma a psychiatrist or a psychologist, noma a teacher who doesn't have this personal touch and feel. Umzali, not just a mother.
I would say Guti, they are missing out a lot. If there's one thing, endly. Ukuthi ube so close to ingane yakho to a point la khona ingakwazi ukufihla noma ihalela ukufihla because uvele nje ubone through her ukuthi there's something going on. Yabo. And aqali ngayo ivula isifuba, aqala ngawo ukhombisa ukuthi you understand. Ukuthi like I was very lucky ukuthi umpilo age gap yethu yethi yes yinde or inkulu. Kodwa I still remember very well kwakwenzakalani kwi age yakhe. Kimina. So angiqhamuki as umzali othi yabo. Ngiqhamuka as umzali who understands very well ukuthi mawungaka mawuna 16 mawuna 17 mawuna 18 njengompilo kusuke kwenzakalani empilweni yakho. So angiqhamuki from a point lokujudge, but ngiqhamuka from a point of understanding ukuthi like she said ukuthi adolescent stage is real.
Yeah.
and asikwazi ukuyenza ngathi ayikho real, and asikwazi ukuthi siresolve zonke izinto ngenduku, and asikwazi ukubenza ngathi ukuthi kufanele basize ukuthi sithini ngoba siyabashaya, but instead give them an ear. Make them understand ukuthi you understand what they go through. Make them understand ukuthi nawe izinto abadlula kuzona, as much as age gap issue ukuthi ezinye izinto ezenzeka manje nama ngisazazi ngizi-understanding ngimdala for them. Kodwa nami okwakwenzeka ngiyak-understand ukuthi kwakusho ukuthini ngoma babe ngak-understand. Therefore ngifika ngibe lapho ukuthi okay kwenzakalani ku-age manje below. Oh okay nidansa kanje asizame angifundise kube into engingayi-understand, but I won't change the channel and ngifuna ukubuka ivesi, ngifuna ukubuka one gospel all the time because kukhulunywa ngoJesu all the time. Ngifuna uku-understand ukuthi bona bafuna ukubukani, bona balalelani, so that ngiyazi into ebahluphayo, because impilo uyazi akuyonto esikhuluma all the time, but ubuhle balesikhathi samanje ukuthi iba muhle ube mude ube slender ngathi uyi model and everything. So if wena umzali uhlala emzumbe awufuna ukuba close to ingane yakho ubuka igospel all the time kutshele ngoJesu, I understand ukuthi yena lahle likhona uhlushwa ukuthi uzizwe ngathi uthi she's not pretty enough because akekho mncane ngoba mebuka izinto zabo zase-America zithi fa ube slender ube njani njani u depressed, you can't even see that. Yes, uyamthanda uJesu kodwa uJesu akamnciphisi. Uyamthanda uJesu akamenza ukuthi abe ne 2 million followers on Instagram, and bona yona into ababona kuyiyona they think bahlala kwi social media. Kwenzekani kwi social media uyabona? So manje wena ufuna ukuthatha ifone umphuce yona bese ayantshontsha bese enzani akusebenzi. So mina nga realize ukuthi no man, into ezongisiza ukwazi ukukhulisa lengane le ngoba ayikho into eyimanual ukuthi ingane ikhulise kanjani ngaphandle kokufunda iBhayibheli. Ngeke kodwa ngikhulise njengeBhayibheli, angekho eBhayibhelini. Nangu umuntu real uphambi kwami ngimkhulise kanjani kukhona yonke lenye into ekhona emhlabeni. Therefore ngathi okay, I need to understand indlela acabanga ngayo, I need to understand indlela izinto azibona ngayo for me to have indlela yokukhuluma naye. So manner of approach yami is based on the fact that ngiya understand ucabanga kanjani. So noma into ngayibona ngo left kodwa uma yena ayibona nge center endleleni ayibuka ngayo angim approach ngo left, ngim approach ngo center. Then sofika ku left ngoba ngiqale nga-understand u-center. You get me? So if you don't understand how they think, how they view things, ngeke ukwazi ngisho ukusho ukuthi okright iloko okwrong iloko, ngoba once bafeel ukuthi you are against them, against everything abayicabangayo nabakholelwa kuyona, ngeke basayilalela nalento right ozanayo.
So Mpilo, as uma ikhuluma about how mothers and parents should, I'd say, I wanna use the word behave around abantwana babo. How do children nowadays, abazali bayakhala bathi ingane ayihloniphi, ingane ayilaleli? What's the remedy for that, in your view?
Oh gosh, I think most of the parents are still very in tune with the traditional way of raising a child, which is through the rod and iSebenz, I think. You know, they say it as a joke, hey, seven amalungelo phela sisakwazi ngisho ukubashaya nani. And it's kind of the truth. A lot of kids internalize that. So ukuthi uma ngiyazakwazi mina ukungishaya or angishaya to the point where because I can always go and say, no, she actually abuses me. And unfortunately, with the justice system, a lot of things can be easily fabricated. You can just say your POV, umzala kusiyaboshwa. So it's very, very important to try and hone the relationship between you and your child, because isolating your child does not do you or your child any justice. Apart from mistakes as always, I think what now is umzali, the way that you raise your child, it reflects on you. I think it's very important to try and make sure if because a lot of people can't really get through to their children like that. Just try to have a common understanding because will lead your child into the wrong hands, I think. So I was very
she stays sakhe ihambe she ekhon yakho
emjondolo understand
iyohlala nosiya kodwa sorry mawusiya ubuke
wena
kuyanetha ihambe yadoje ngani ihambe yabaleka
nje uyangi-understand forever yena. So it's very, very important to try.
It's so true. Maybe to add on what Mpilo is saying, there's a friend of mine, Oti, uke wadiscipline ingane ngenduku because umntwana ubengayiwashi izitsha if ama headphones ehlele ekamereni angafuni ukuyenza lutho wamshaya to a point where wacishe wambulala because akakhali akayiviki induku umili uyamshaya kungazi ukuthi umuntu
onambo ngenamizwa
nje ngomoya othize because how can I be beating you and awuzwa awukhali awunjanjana ngithi kusho ukuthi as parents maybe satisfaction iqhamuka lawo mawukhala ngiyabona ukuthi uyayizwa lento engishoyo mayiqeda ukumshaya wahamba umntana wawasha izitsha akakakhali wawasha izitsha beqeda ukwasha izitsha phinde ekamereni afike wahlala
akazuzanga
umama waba depressed usedepressed yini usebikela ubaba wasekhaya ukuthi ngishayele ingane yangakhali yasi emayisuka ubaba yazwa athini kanti bofunani bongeveni ufuna iwashi izitsha iwashile nje izitsha manje sewufunani can you now see damage ukuthi bengamshayela ukuthi awashi izitsha bengimshayela ukuthi ashintshe indlela yokwenza izinto but ngiyabona ukuthi akungisizanga kusebenzanga kunalokho sekukhoze sima enemies la endlini mezo uzovuka ekuthulile emlomeni awashi izitsha meqeda phinde ekamereni akuyonto engiyifunayo but she couldn't communicate into ayifunayo ukuthi it goes more than ukwasha izitsha it goes ukuthi kube ukuthi la ekhaya njengefamily sinesikhathi ndawonye siyakwazi ukuhlala sixoxe njengomndeni masidla sidla ndawonye mangabe sigeza izitsha sivuka sigeza izitsha ekseni but yena wacabanga ukuthi induku izosiza ukuthi meke ngamshaya uzongizwa wavele yangamuzwa kunalokho wacishe na wayishathwe phela awufuni ukushaya ingane yakho akekho umuntu ofuna ukubona ingane yakhe izubhlungu bokushawa induku uyishaya ngoba ufuna ukulalela mayingakusakuzwa noma uyishaya ngenduku sewuhlukumezeke wena bheka ukuthi ngishaya vele umuntu ngimzwisa ubhlungu nobhlungu ngathi akabuzwa manje uyayenza lento ebengifuna yenze but still le bengiyifuna beyond ukuhamba yokwasha izitsha ngoba mina ngikhiphele yabo frustration yami ekuthini awasha izitsha kungcwelele endlini wavele wayenza yonke lento kade uthaka yenza kodwa ngashintshi kwibehavior waqhubeka wayohlala ekamereni yedwa ngoba she's antisocial because she feels ukuthi awumunderstand izinto akholelwa kuzona awuzi-understand izinto ayilalela awuzilalela izinto ayibukayo awuzibukeli ma umfica ebukele into e-TV kunokuthi uhlale naye uthi ubukena sibuke uvele uthi ene yini ayibukayo ureprimande wenze yonke into ushintshe you understand so akasasibona isidingo mawuqhamuka imoto esapaka uyaphuma e-lounge ahamba yongena ekamereni because I relate nayo.
How much damage does that do to a relation? Or rather, let's not look at that. How do we fix that? For a person, a parent watching right now, njoba ekuzukhuluma uthi yazi MAKHUMALO usho mina. My kids run away from me. Mangifika ziyabaleka.
Can I say something
Sure.
first? To answer that, I'm not imposing or anything, but I've realized that the most efficient parenting method exercised on me, of course, was not induku induku wayibeka kudala when it was still petty things like ukuthi ungayiwashi izitsha wabona iyeke. I think the most hardest thing about ukureprimandwa is the fact that umuntu emezokuhlalisa phansi akubuza imibuzo about uzokubuza ukuthi what was your train of thought when you decided to leave the house in such a state.
That is worse.
It is the most
You understand what were you thinking because before ngisho ukuthi ngibona kanjani fang understand ngoba kusiza ukukutshela unga understand fang kusukaphi
Rather than
Mshaye.
like, where's your belt?
Noma mshaya lento yokubuza imibuzo njengoba ushiya indlu kanje ubucabangani how what do you mean I wasn't thinking it's not possible ukuthi ungacabangi how so now you have to go back and invigilate investigate wena manje ukuthi kodwa bengicabangani. It is the worst thing, especially it's just the worst thing, especially hearing the manner of the question, the tone of the question, the questions themselves, and just the disappointment in the end, and understanding
You know
the
what
lack of
disappoints you at the
understanding.
end? It's the answer that you are giving. You're like, this is so
I am disappointed
Why did I do this?
in myself. Uzosole nanokuthi ungabuyele emuva uthi yo bonconta yeah uzosole nanokuthi ngenze why am I
What's
here.
the good thing about that ngiyokuphinda uyikhona
It teaches you.
trust me
Yeah.
njengoba disappointed kuwe
You don't want to feel like that again.
because exactly and akusiyi imo wenzile wozenzile so ngeke uyikhohle into ozenze yona uzohlezi uyikhumbula immediately.
Akusho ukuthi liyabona leya process yabona kulesiya sikhathi ungihlalise phansi ungibuza akusho ukuthi kumnandi yabona the time ungihlalise phansi ungibuza
usola ukudelela uvela usuku ubuwabeza usola uvela umshiye ekhulumedwa kwamanje ngeke ukwazi futhi ukumshiya uvela ubona yo.
But the thing is Khulekani, if I don't understand kwenzakalana ekhanda lakho yabona sihlala nabantwana othola ukuthi they're struggling ngezinto ezithize mentally, asikwazi nokubona lokho ngoba sihlale nabo si understand their chain of thoughts. Uhlale nomntwana ekufuze ngabe umyisile special school, uhleli naye endlini ngoba ucabanga ukuthi normal, ngoba wena awukazi uzinike ithuba lokwazi ukuhlala naye umbone indlela acabanga ngayo. Manje by doing that ukwazi ukufika lapho ubone ukuthi for umuntu ona 15 kufanele nacabange kanje. Yini engabe disturbile apart from ukuthi mhlambe khona into engekho right mentally kuyena. So mina ngisizwe ileyo nto a lot ukuthi ngikwazi ukubona ukuthi it's beyond lento le eyenzeka la. Ngabe ngimshayile lo muntu wazi wagcina ngizonda because uzongizonda phela umntwana if I understand ukuthi she's going through a lot. Angikwazi ukubona lot that she's going through. Ngibona lento ayenzile lana outcome of a lot. Angikwazi ukumlekelela, angikwazi ukumsiza, angikwazi ukufika empandeni ze problem. But by sitting down and listen to her, ngikwazi ukubona ukuthi ku beyond lento lethina siyibonayo. Mpilo songichazelile ngiyavuma. What is going on? What is troubling you? What is your problem? Masufika kwi problem urealize ukuthi cishe ngenza imisi yangempela. La kunento deep kunalokho. Bese uyayeka yonke lento engasasho lutho.
Whose responsibility is it to find out the root cause? Is it me as a parent to dig and dig and dig, or me as a child to say this is what I'm going through?
It depends on the relationship we build. With me and Mpilo, obviously, umuntu fa uqala umtrust as your parent. So when ngeke avela ngitrust ngo day one. So ubane kufanele athi give in first imina. Aqala imina kufanele lethe into yokwenza ukuthi yena angitrust umntwana mncane ngimdala mina. So angikwazi ukulindela ukuthi yena abe vulnerable with me ngingakaze ngimkhombisa ukuthi ngiworth of ukuthi abe vulnerable with me. So yes, imina bekufanele ngiqale ngilethe kuyena ukuthi abone ukuthi she can trust me, she can trust my advices, she can trust indlela engicabanga ngayo, she can trust ukuthi ngingamguide kahle endleleni yakhe for yena ukuthi akwazi kuba vulnerable with me. So if mina ngithi ngilindele yena ukuthi enze lokho, mina ngibe ngingamkhombisa ukuthi I'm worthy of that, ayikho into ezosebenza. Umntwana akakwazi ukucabanga njengami engimdala, uzicabangela ngomqondo wakho narrow othi momtshela into kube yilento ayicabangayo, uyabona. So there was a stage where wayengakwazi ukucabanga ngaleyo ndlela, kodwa kufike ku stage where esecabanga ngaleyo ndlela ukuthi the only go-to person is my mother. Akuzange kube ngo day one go-to person wami uma wami, kwangaba inoma ubani omunye except for me, because akazi ukuthi mina ngi-right ukuthi ngingamtshela into right, especially kwi setup esikuyona. As you know ukuthi Mpilo unaboma abaningi, so angazama ukuthola ukuthi omuphi uma all right until afike kwi point la ibona khona ukuthi nangu ma hayi ukuthi all right ngoba abanye be wrong, but she has my best interest at heart. So nangu umuntu engakwazi umtrusta with everything. We are at that point njengamanje la khona ngingadinga ukuthi ngiyodiga ukuthi what is going on kuwena, kuyena owaziyo ukuthi uyena ofatshele nini ngoba usizo uzothola kumina.
I think I'd also like to add, Uguti, I think a lot of people look at a relationship and assume that because of circumstance we were forced to understand and love each other and it came easy. It was not easy, guys. Lendo yokwakha ubudlelwane nengane, especially, gosh, I hate saying this, but especially a child that's not yours. It's very, very hard. You have to a relationship with the mother of that child and your child. And it was never easy. It'll never be easy, but fortunately I don't even know how it happened, but I've never had a thought to she's not my mother. In my head I've always assumed it's okay, she's not my mother in like all central, because but the ones who are just more involved in my life, it's fine, I can't do anything about it, and that's it. So I think you have to be very patient. She was very, very patient. I also used to be the child, the white kamereni. So she was patient on that regard. And I think yonke ebalulekile ukuthi uzame ukuyibekezelela ingane yakho, especially nisakhula, because wow, so khanda nje.
Hey, ukhanda shisa laba. Yabona advice eyikoleni kuma bus terminals. Right, Jesus. Advice asema bus terminals. Hayi faka abantu abaningi. Futhi abantu wehleka.
Yeah.
Advice asema terminals. Shop.
Yeah.
Wey. Asifaka abantu abaningi. Baningi babelele ifuba enzosiya.
Hey,
Kubizwa kukhazwa uthi uyamtshela ukuthi uma u10 namhlanje kuthiwe ngikhona mina.
Relax mama. Relax. Uletizodila nami. Ma.
Well, this is Elevate on Gaga CFM. Every single Monday we come through and we have this exciting conversation with amazing people and you. So make sure that you share this and do engage on all the platforms. Do share it with other people as well. You might be going through a situation similar to le MPILOENHLE akhuluma ngayo. You might be trying to be a stepmother or a stepfather. But this is something that can actually help you and elevate from wherever you are. So thank you, ladies, for joining me, coming through. I wanted to say this at the beginning. I want to Lizzie Bugozin. Don't
Just zazaza. Thank you so much. You carry it. You know.
Oh, wow, Khulekani.